Good evening, everyone from the USA, all over the world, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka Lonely Nomad, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, the unstoppable independent podcaster, host with the most, and rookie podcaster of Queens, New York. And you are now tuning in and rocking with Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Review Show, a show where we go over the bodies of work in terms of singers, rappers, and of course TV shows, the movies, and of course added games to it. And pretty soon I will start reviewing podcast shows that I listened to so far. Um, but in today's episode, I don't have any music artists to actually. Well, I do have two music artists to review, but I don't have any TV shows or movies to review. But in this episode, we're gonna be reviewing the best games in 2021. So let me fill you guys in. If you guys don't know what's going on, new listeners and and current YouTube watchers from the YouTube enclave that don't know what's going on, we are live and direct from StreamYard, YouTube, alongside with Instagram Live, which is Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. Make sure you guys follow that show's page and make sure you turn on your notifications for every single um page that I'm going to mention, which includes, of course, don't forget to follow my other shows, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast and Off the Meat Rack Chains New York Podcast, and of course myself, which is G Money Stacks 555. Don't worry about the rest. Um if you're new to the channel, new listeners, current listeners, and new watchers from the YouTube universe, and you miss any previous episodes whatsoever, don't worry, I got your back. All you need to do is go subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure you enable alerts along with the notification bell. Be sure to leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and topics, alongside with the the upcoming episodes. Stay tuned for more video content. Previous episodes, which are already automatically recorded, will be uploaded and posted to the YouTube channel page of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube channel. And make sure you tell a friend to another friend, download your favorite episodes, share the episodes, share the videos, spread the word, and share the podcast along with the audio streaming platforms with the link that says Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, which I will go over at the end of the show. All right. Now that I got that out the way, let me fill you guys in on the let me fill you guys in terms of the new listeners and the new YouTube watchers that don't know what this show consists of. This show consists of segments. We have Music Kool-Aid, we have the Chillax Popcorn Man Cave Lounge, we have, of course, the previous news segment, which is the Video Game Chamber, which I will get to at the moment. Um, of course, Streams on the Go, where I review the audio streaming platforms that you could tune into as far as the previous episodes. Of course, you guys get a chance to catch up on the new episodes. And by the way, new episodes is going to be posted on the YouTube channel after each recording. And the new episodes for audio will be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Review Show. All right. And make sure you tune in on Mondays, Tuesdays at 6 p.m., 9 p.m. on Thursdays. All right. So there you have it right there. Now our first segment, we're going to go to um something that is a little different that I like to call the video games chamber. And basically what that is, it's basically about um the games that people play for all you gamers out there who has your PlayStations, your Xboxes, Xbox Live, Xbox One, um, your Nintendo Wii's, whatever. But in this case today, since I don't have any TV shows and movies to review today, I figured we'll go over the best video games of 2021. So this is according to an article on the Eurogamer.net. So here we go. All right. So 2021 has been another extremely usual year. So hopefully it's a bit of a treat to end it in our usual way with the top 50 games of the last 12 months as chosen by you. Um, Let me give you a little sound effect for the video game chamber. Let me just look for the right one. Um, okay, we could just do. Let's do this. All right, so um, number 50, Battlefield 2042, developed by Dice. Um, Um, what we said, chalk this one up as another slightly botched Battlefield launch. Only at least this time it's been botched in new and interesting ways. After a very shaky start, it's slowing, becoming the game they promised, says Ben Chambers. Feels like a true war with 128 players. End quote. Obviously, a lot of criticism for this game came out, most of it warranted, but after a few key patches, me and my few friends are back having the best time in the sandbox multiplayer that is Battlefield, says um, Angelsman. Driving hovercrafts up skyscrapers, clearing and taking objectives together, mowing down the enemies in helicopters together. Battlefield is simply the best game I've played with friends all year. And some of its glitches are what makes it fun. Number 49, Days Gone for PC. Okay, developed by Sony Bend. Um, of course, what we said, I wasn't expecting Days Gone to add anything new to the genre, but both in terms of its systems. Hold on a second, folks. But both in terms of its systems and its story, it's uninspired, which is driven home by the fact that it's endlessly, needlessly long. And I'm sorry I had to turn the volume down because of the plane. Um, Sorry about that. I'm begging you, haven't haven't we done this enough? Played this one first on PS4, but it was buggy and didn't grab my attention, says iVoke. Then the game came to PC. Installed, started the game and focused, giving it a new chance. I was so happy that I did. Love the story and setting. This really is a lost gem, and everybody should give it a second chance. such an underrated gem. Says MK M Kriku. Number 48, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, developer Capcom. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is a lovely bundle, which, like many a spin-off, suffers from not being quite as great as the original you immediately compare to. Regardless, there is so much to love here. It tries some new things setting and gameplay wise. It makes enjoyable references, and I just consistently enjoy Shu Tokum's no excuse me Shu Takumi's writing. No matter what he puts out, the historical setting could prove to be a bit of a niche interest to many, but rather than contort myself and tell you that this is just like the Ace Attorney you know and love, or call it a prequel, or a great way to start with the series, which it isn't. I rather give it to you straight and say, do you love a good period drama? Oh shit. Have at it. A blast from the past from Yeah, a blast from the plat. Yeah, a blast from the past. I haven't played a visual novel style game in a long, says Christo Flanga. Um, maybe he'll come back next year and say time and an excellent joke will be complete. Um, Number 47, The Ascent, um, developed by Neon Giant. Okay, the Accent teams. Its tiered alien megacity is one of the liveliest cyberpunk settings I've explored. Always crawling with people and machines, whether you are massacring mutants in the sewers or gazing out from a window. Admittedly, it also teams with cliches and callouts to the usual um, can, um, canonical works. William Gibson's phrase "high tech, low life," which flickers on displays throughout light a sorcerer's incantation, Blade Runner's fluorescent umbrella handles, and um, melancholy synth score. Um, Parading hollow strippers from any number of seedy sci-fi saloons. Um, an Oriental faction who worship, honor, and wield katanas. This is not one of your transgressive, norm-busting punk fictions. Even Ruina, its closest cousin, is a bolt from the blue by comparison. But what the accent world lacks is in imagination and bite. It almost makes up for in scale and in exhaustive toy makers' commitment to the fine details. Hmm. Let's give this to Pixel Cloth. It has some bugs, but I was sucked in by the atmosphere and excellent soundtrack. Diablo 3, only with guns, says David 010. Number 46, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, developer Respawn. Um, what we have here is okay. When I reached the end of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I didn't feel like I'd had a rewarding experience. I was relived. I relived it all was over. With some side Mandarin, it took around 30 hours. Dang. Dang. Damn, 30 hours to beat a video game. Like that's gotta be it. That's gotta be a fucking struggle right there. Oh shit. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Hold on. Hold on. This um and I didn't enjoy a lot of them. I'll admit crunching a soul like in less than 4 days in an unnatural and grueling experience. I imagine if I played for an order several months, I would have been less frustrated, but probably still bored. It's such a shame as Fallen Order has an incredible gameplay experience at its core with fantastic environments and well directed action sequences. Yet it's unable to sustain this thanks to some fundamental designs problems. Couldn't find any comments on this one. But maybe that was a Jedi mind trick. Number 45, Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker, Square Enix. If I could say one thing that defines Endwalker, that life through all its hardships and joys has meaning, despite all our troubles and hard times throughout the course of our lifetimes. There are still moments where we find happiness with those around us and the memories we make along the way. Like the unnamed soldier has said, it's the little things that make life worth living. And I can certainly say that Final Fantasy 14 was one of those things that came into my life when I needed it the most. I'm gonna let um Dicissa run long on this one. Hard to even begin to describe how amazingly satisfying it was to see the conclusion to the story that's been going for nearly 10 years now. So many callbacks and nods to all sorts of things from the past, all building to this very wonderful ending. Add onto this that Dave somehow once again outdone themselves with the music and the the dungeons. Best way to put it, I suppose, would be that it made me really and truly feel like the nearly 3,000 hours I've put into the game at this point were all entirely worth it. Number 44, Persona 5 Strikers. Um, Developed by Omega Force and P Studio. There's a whole lot of good here that easily balances out the bad if you are already a fan of Persona 5. And I'm pretty sure that if P Studio made approximately 5 more sequels, we would eventually arrive at the perfect version of Persona 5. There's just always so much of everything from plot strands to enemies to fight and food to eat that I had a great time while simultaneously feeling pretty exhausted by it all. Though that's just video games for you. You think there's been many excellent sequels to long-running Japanese series this year. Monhan Neo Tu- Tui Ace Attorney says Miho. But Persona 5 getting a proper sequel is not something I ever expected. This is not a, a mere Mosu video. Yeah, Mosu game. It's not a Mosu game. Okay. Um. So we have number 43, Far Cry 6. Ubisoft. All right. Okay, Ubisoft. Hold on a second, folks. Okay, Ubisoft. Um, but as much fun as new noodling around Far Cry 6's world is, it's probably wise to bear in mind the words of Far Cry 3's Vass was when he attempted to explain the definition of insanity. Yeah, sanity. I'm not too sure if it's relating to mankind, so don't ask me. Um, Insanity, he said, is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. And I say that statement rings true here because beyond the slide toward one man army protagonist, shit has definitely not changed. If you were looking for a sequel that would shake up the series and bring about a gameplay revolution, you are going to be disappointed. Oh, wow. Really? But if you enjoyed that classic Far Cry collect and up grind and simply want a brand new sandbox to explore and explode, you are going to be far from bored with all that Yara has to offer. It's Far Cry doing what Far Cry does. Not the best in the stories, but it keeps me playing into the small hours, says the Relic. uh, the Relic. I can't believe this. Which is hopefully a reference to the cracking Lincoln Preston Pendergast novel. Simon 893 loved it. The best Far Cry has been for a long time. Danny was a great character and a welcome move um, away from the silent protagonist of recent games in the series. Um, Number 42, Quake, developed by Night Dive Studios, ID Software, and Machine Games. Nothing. My love of video games really only began with Quake, says says Morat. Don't know what the type of name is that, which is a lovely thing to read. Um, Not exactly a stellar year was it. The only game on the list I've played is Quake. Play Totem, Rules, it rules. Number 41, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, um, developed by Owlcat Games. We didn't review it. You might finish it, but I doubt it, says David 010. Enjoyable romp, says Dark Bites. You Pathfinder fans keep it brief. Number 40, um Subnautica Below Zero, developed by Unknown Worlds. Perhaps most exciting of all, however, is the arrival of the original Subnautica's extreme pressure prawn suit, enabling explorers to dive deeper than previously possible in Below Zero. Those eager to slip inside its welcoming frame should make their way over to Arctic Living Final Edition, the brand new abandoned Altera mining site biome. Um, a perfect survival game, a perfect crafting game, a perfect open world, and a perfect story. Subnautica is an endless source of wonder, and the game will we all keep saying we want. Okay, time to bring out Dave. When we set a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is 10, then Subnautica is 0 and Nautica Below Zero is somewhere mm, below 0. Damn. So not as good as Subnautica, but still better than all those other games. They've had a PowerPoint deck too, but we couldn't paste it in there. Oh wow. That's gotta suck, man. Mm-hmm. Um, number 39. The Awful Escape. Developed by Beethoven. Beethoven and the Dinosaur. Oh man. Ultimately, you're watching a performance much given one. And for a game this sly and playful, I can live with that. This is a rush, a conceit, a virtual doodle. It's a gas, it's a lark. One of the deepest games ever written. I could play this for the next decade without getting bored. Testify belly full of hell. Oh man, damn. Still playing this every night, even though I kind of hate it. As Flippy Flop. Oh shit. It, and enigmatically, um these comments were exactly left over from last year's game number 40, but what was it? Okay, number 38, Final Fantasy 7 remakes, intergrade, PlayStation 5, created and developed by Square Enix. All around, there's a lot to love in Final Fantasy 7 remake, intergrade. A year on from the PlayStation 4 release, Square Enix clearly had a mission to fix, upgrade, and enhance the original project in every way it could, and in almost every case, it pays off handsomely. Frame rates across both its 4K mode and the 60 FPS mode are faultless. Um, the improved textures, lighting, and volume trick effects also give a satisfying update over the PS4 original, while loading times are substantially uh, improved. The photo mode is an inspired extra, while you even get PS5 features like adaptive triggers used for the motorbike racing missions. All this combined, and especially with the new intermission DLC, there's enough here to justify and replay. Put simply, this upgrade is an absolute success. One of my favorite games of the last generation has transitioned beautifully to PlayStation 5, and I highly recommend it to FF7R players, old and new. Torhau was won over. I haven't played um, the original release. However, found myself enjoying FF7 tremendously. I am curious to see where the story will take us in episode 2. I was blown away by the original, but at 60 hertz, I think is what it is. Mega, no, I don't know what that is, but anyway, on PS5, man says will side 9. Number 37, Age of Empires 4. Um, developed by Relic World's Edge. What it's those little nuances too that set AOE4 apart, giving it that lovely vein of hidden depth to be mined from beneath the initial simplicity, the fabled, easy to learn, not just difficult, but nigh on impossible to master. Tag that's always been such a holy grail for games in this genre. Um, a week or so with it, and I can feel those old familiar tendrils of strategic curiosity wrap around me. drawing me in with an urge to improve, to develop, to economize, to learn. It's wonderfully appropriate and really in a way what this game is all about, dude. It's canny tutorials, docu-series campaigns, and bottomless well of multiplayer depth. Age of Empires 4 wants nothing more than to simply teach, and I am nothing less than delighted to return to my role as its student. Great return for the OG RTS, uh says not even I'm not even gonna butcher this, so let me just move on. Um Even RTS fans have found quality arriving their way, says Art 3M15, who that name is probably a protocol droid of some kind. Despite some technical hiccups at launch, this game had respectfully honored earlier titles in the series and brought their style of gameplay to the fore. Respectful, yes, but married to an updated engine that delivers one of the finest strategy titles you can buy. Sounds excellent. Number 36, The Forgotten City. Um, Created by Modern Storyteller. The Forgotten City began life as a Skyrim mod, I gather, and you can still see a bit of that in the way you move. The way the camera zooms in on the face of whoever you are currently talking to, the way rocks and trees are drawn, and the way light falls. It feels like a mod in the best way to something ingen, ingenious, um, and free flowing, bursting out of a private obsession and interacting with players until it's formed this lovely singular thing. I don't know which ending you'll get or what you'll take away from it for me. The whole thing was not about morality so much as it was about the way that successive errors that have struggled with morality's contradictions until the whole thing is piled up like a posse cafe. But I know you should play it. It's fascinating and generous. It's spooky and weird and thrilling and audacious. This game is properly fantastic and real styly has it down perfectly. Of course, I never played the original mod for Skyrim, but I've always loved time loop games, especially ones with mysteries to unravel. The Forgotten City was a delight from beginning to end, and I was genuinely invested in the story and the characters. I will not forget, says bum eggs. Oh my gosh, man. I would not forget when we have a reader called Bum Eggs. Oh shit. Oh shit. All right, number 35, Back for Blood. Um Turtle Rock. Oh shit. Boy. It's almost there. Basically, almost really quite special, but in falling just short of that, Back for Blood is still a wonderful messy treat of a game, considering it got there by effectively slapping a progression system on a widely endured cult favorite series that best might be best described as the video game equivalent to a bong. That's quite an achievement too. It it doesn't do anything new, but it does what it does really well, says Paul underscore YNWA. One of the better games for playing with complete strangers and suddenly finding yourself being a team. While initially looking just like a Left for Dead clone, there's a lot to like here in the deck system, adding longevity to the game as you experiment with builds and synergies with your teammates. Lost Judgment number 34. What the hell? Oh man. Created by RGG Studio. Away from the stilted melodrama, Lost Judgment still has that special spark. There are nerdy tales about the second-hand game market, missing game directors, held together by elastic combat and skateboarding with a soundtrack that lets you know RGG misses Jet Set Radio as much as anyone. Hmm. And this remains a fascinating series, as close to video games have got to the golden age of studio cinema, the same sets being redressed with different actors, different characters and directors, and then different mechanics, genres, and then all those other silly little remains, no, excuse me, little details that make a video game like its predecessors. Lost Judgment offers a sense of place and atmosphere that begs to be drunk in, plus a story that too often leaves a nasty taste. Yakuza games are everything great about video games, says Moon Patrol. Oh man. Moon Patrol, man. I swear everybody be having funny usernames compared to me. So don't even ask me why. Don't even ask. Um yeah, Moon Patrol. And we will not top that, so let's move on. Exactly. Okay, number 33. Inscription. Um Developed and created by Daniel Mullins Games. I said I loved how Inscription played with expectations, and I do. But there's something else I love about it too. It's the game's confidence. You can feel an assuredness actually, of touch and a strength flowing through the ideas in Inscription, and they combine to deliver such a wallop of an impression. It's hard to stop thinking about it. It's no wonder developer Daniel Mullins has already cultivated an eager following for the quality strange and potentially related games, Pony Island, and the Hex. Inscription is a wandering nightmare, and it plays a vividly memorable game of cards. Zaparo is on board with this, an extraordinary opening act that could have been the whole game in my book. A remarkable emergence of CCG and story. This one was an equivalent of an earworm. Like that one time I heard Rocket Man's lyrics being sung by Du- Dua Lipa this year, and I couldn't get it out of my head. Inscription continued to burrow its way into my neurons with every successive click I made. What a gem. I buy it again on Switch. That's Furlock. Uh, Number 32, Will the Myth. Developed by World Walker Games. What unites these stories is consequence and possibility. Um, the chain of buts and therefore never ends. Like a good DM, Will the Myth um, understands that big choices should lead to an unexpected twist and more story, rather than the end of the story. Will the Myth flows. What a game! Um, core lots of votes, but not many comments for this one. Just play it. Okay, number 31. A Plague Tale Innocence Switch PlayStation 5 Xbox Series um developed by Asobo. Okay. The great shock of Plague Tale is that on some level it's a Gears of War game. The more obvious comparison is The Last of Us, another potent apocalyptic escapade in which an older character guides a more innocent soul whose blood is touched by destiny. But in practice, and for all the absence of chainsaws, it's often Epic's game that comes to mind. It's it's there in the tanky handling, with characters swiveling ponderously as though secretly many times their own size. It's there in the sense of a historical backdrop, being softly consumed by the supernatural, the darkness alive with eye shine, the twisted bony black, the bony black. Oh shit, bony black rot the rats leaving behind them. Um, the alchemical motives that gradually become the plot's crucible. But above all, it's a question of framing. As in Gears, um, you spend most chapters wending your way towards some distant landmark, a brooding structure such as a windmill that is teed up for you with a context sensitive command. The tug into and out of view by the intervening geography. It lends each stage of am- amnesia and Hugo's journey a powerful exor- exorability exorability for all the trail and error process of bamboozling soldiers as though you were being drawn through its world by gravity towards a procession of massive objects. It's worth giving into the pool. Just don't forget to look for the flowers. Hmm. MHA 71 was delighted. Um, Surprised me with its sheer brilliance, and I never heard a video game speak French to me before. Yeah. Number 30, Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye, developed by Mo- Mobius Digital. The worst thing about Outer Wilds' first expansion, from my perspective, is that there won't be another one, which is also, of course, the expansion's best quality. Because the last thing I want for this game is anything like the endless, intermissible sprawl of a no man's sky. The moral of both the original story and the expansion is that at some point you have to say goodbye, and as goodbyes go, this is one of the ages. It is even fair to have DLC as as game of the year, as um Malik 86 bringing the rhetoric. I guess it doesn't matter when said DLC is this good. Just like the main game, the less you know about it, the better. Wow. So we go to number 29, which is Crusader Kings. Uh, we haven't reviewed it yet. Zephyro has though just continues all the excellent work of CK2. The third portraits actually add a remarkable amount of character to the game, though it could do with being made a bit harder. Some of the bloodline mechanics are very gameable. All right, number 28. Shin Megami Tensei 5, created by Atlas. Because this is an RPG that hasn't fallen far from its 1987 original, as hard as dark and strange as the first person Famicom dungeon crawler that started it all. It's permeated with the same dank ambience and fueled by the same deep mechanics. A vision of hell that's absolutely heavenly for hardcore RPG lovers. As a relative newcomer to the series, it's been an education and more often than not a delight. Um, Maybe that Edge review really has on to something. When you talk when you can talk to the monsters, it turns out pretty special things can happen. Moon Patrol. Oh gosh. That name is so funny, man. I'm sorry for laughing, folks. This name is so funny. Oh shit. Captures the feeling of isolation and anticipation that all good dungeons crawlers have, minus the corridors. Tremendously atmospheric and rewarding in equal measure. Um, Kakoro was equally satisfied. Great continuation of the series, fantastic gameplay and visuals. Great way to keep turn-based system fresh and enjoyable. All right, number 27. Developed by Deck 9. Yeah, life is strange. True colors. Um, as this story began to wrap up, I was left feeling a pang of sadness that my time with True Colors characters was coming to an end. After 4 years of waiting to see what Deck 9 did next, gorging this beautiful game into 5 hour sittings felt almost wasteful. And it's here I felt both the upsides and downsides to the series. Switch from an episodic release schedule. Logistically, I'm sure releasing in one go is the easiest route, and Life is Strange is 14 month um launch window was clearly far too long to sustain everyone's interest. Still, I felt sad that True Color's brilliant characters and their ongoing problems wouldn't live unfinished in my head for longer. Um, Buoyed up by the joy of dissecting and theorizing what might come next. A month or two down the line, in this, perhaps I can sympathize with Alex accepting of something precious and treasuring it while it lasted. Um, a great cast setting, the soundtrack make this one of the best entries in the Life is Strange series, says Ryuk. Being able to play every episode at launch was a welcome change, and the story built up alongside Alex's personal developments very well. Yes, the ending might have fallen a bit flat, but the journey there was relaxing, enjoyable, emotional, heartwarming, funny, stressful, and everything life is strange should be. Just a lovely, lovely experience, says Dr. Gonzo. um, okay, number 26, the Tales of Arise. Bandai Namco. Tales of Arise rides the high of a brilliant battle system and a charismatic supporting cast. It's not always the smoothest ride, especially when the back half of Bandai's Namco's game stumbles into interplanetary affairs and storytelling that goes for something a little more grandiose. Um, but the combination of compelling characters and a plot that'll genuinely get you rooting for everyone involved is a sublime match. I hope JG is honest this year. I have to be honest and say I spent 25 hours randomly pressing a button hoping that something cool would happen. 25 hours? Damn. Damn, that's crazy. Just to press a fucking button on a game. Yo. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Anyway, um kind of like a fun version of Dragon Age 2 with decent characters to team up with. Did take 8 hours before I realized I could use a potion. Oh shit. Um okay, stay with me here. I need to get a drink. All right. Okay. Okay, number 25, Unpacking. Uh, Created and developed by Witch Beam. So, Unpacking has also shown me, perhaps unwittingly so, how much our status and our belongings, as well as how these belongings are designed, speak for us as people, and that connotation isn't always positive. But it's also a game that allows for personal expression and finding fun in what's literally just stuff. Whether you probably displayed the stuffed animals in an adult's home or hide them away, whether you like to stack books according to matching spines, the resulting home is a small diorama of a life, ready to be treated almost like art thanks to unpacking's photo mold. This tidy exploration of a home had me yearning for a future I can't see for myself, no matter how much I want it. But I do think a fancy low roll holder is on the cards. Well, that's crazy. Um. Anyway, all right, Valham. Created by Iron Gate AB. Um, Hold on a second. See how much time I got. All right. All right. So more importantly, um, wait, Higgy is about sharing that sense of comfort with friends. Excuse me. Maybe this is why Valham with its emphasis on small scale cooperation on servers of up to 10 players, has appealed to so many during the cold winter months when people are searching for ways to get closer to friends. Valheim's about battling monsters and venturing into the unknown. But at the end of each day, you return to a place of security and warmth, a place you've created together. Well, unless you've all gotten lost in the Black Forest. um, I still can't comprehend this was made by a team of five guys, says lad underscore Burrows. I hope they are enjoying bathing in all the money they made. Um, okay. In hindsight, it's annoyingly obvious how popular this would be. Vikings PlayStation 1 style graphics, MMO based building with healthy lashings of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Of course, it was going to be huge. Why didn't I think of it first? The perfect pandemic, aka slamdemic game. Everything we could no longer do was here. Eat and drink heartily with friends. Get back to nature. Um Travel to distant lands, bash massive monsters into bits. The things Valheim does better than other MMOs are subtle, but it all comes together into the fantastic village building, farming, brewery running, beard growing simulator. All the best people pronounce it Valheim. Yeah, Valheim. Yeah. Number 23, Death Stranding Director's Cut. Um, Developed by Kojima Productions. As the credits roll on Death Stranding, heavy with unearned pathos, the impression you are left with is of a self congratulatory monument to the ego of a creator who is high on his own supply. Has Kojima always been this full of it? Maybe. But then you return to the game proper. Select a humble delivery order, lace up your boots, and plan another reckoning with those unforgettable haunted moors. And you realize that this game has got under your skin in a way few do. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy right there, man. All right, number 22. Um, Kina, the Bridge of Spirits, developed by Amber Lab. So to me, Kina, the Bridge of Spirits, very much has first game syndrome. Something with all the right ideas. We can buy the execution. If it does well, the given fever with which it's been filed leading up um to its release, I expect it'll be because we often value triple A looks and mechanics more highly than attempts at innovation. I'm sure with this foundation, Amber Lab has a great game in it, but this isn't it just yet. Beer for Games says Robert Fulton. Darren also digs it. Despite some negativity in the build up to this game's release, it was a real surprise for me and a game that I thoroughly enjoyed from start to finish, even if noting about the game is original or groundbreaking. Yeah. Number 21, Control Ultimate Edition for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, created by Remedy. Oh shit. Oh man, Remedy. That's crazy, man. Hold on. Hold on a minute here. Okay. Okay, Fonzie. Let's see, you came in the building. What's going on with you? How's the nursing career going? And welcome to my podcast recording on this show's page, Meticulous Vibes podcast, man. Anyway, um, anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, the oldest house is a knife edge construction. In other words, its scope is the scope of myth, but its detailing speaks to the homely old 9 to 5 toil of an earlier generation, walls of punch cards and rows of desks, elevators, as the poet said, to drop us from our day. It's spooky even before it starts to change. Before the more you push forward, the more the world begins to shift and recalibrate itself around you. Okay. Um Number 20, Super Mario 3D World um plus Bowser's Fury. Of course, obviously developed by Nintendo. It's the heady energy at the heart of every Super Mario 3D world level pushed out across an entire map for what's a hugely entertaining and very different brand of Mario action. There might be more polished Mario adventures around and more coherent ones, but when it gets to the core of what makes these games so special, the inventiveness, the imagination, and the eccentric and eccentricity, eccentricity of it all, then this new pairing might well be peerless. Having already played the first one on Wii, you this was no brainer. Little did I know just awesome Bowser's Fury would turn out to be. It really is special. Um, the only game on the list I've played this year is it the best game? Almost certainly not. But it is a classic Mario with the breath of fresh air that is Bowser's Fury. Play Tom, you'll really like it. Hmm. Number 19, Monster Hunter Rise. It's all enough to make me believe that this really might be the Monster Hunter of fall. Um, Avalona, great. Now will be humming Brian Ferry all day, says, without a doubt, the best Monster Hunter yet. Proof that gameplay trumps graphics every time. Could have done with better post launch content, but I'm too busy wearing car cases to complain. Boy. Number 18, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Um, Created by Ryuga Gotoku Studio. Um, Yakuza Like a Dragon is a good game. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it made me groan. It runs the full gamut of emotions from boredom to disbelief. The will to reinvent itself is there. And that means not everything works whether you'll enjoy it or not. Depends on what aspects you care about the most. Um, Love the change to RPG for the Yakuza series, says uh, GT Jacket 79. Um, and he closes, of course, love the series. It may be a new and protagonist and style of combat, but it is the same beloved and sense of humor. Um, Number 17, Microsoft Flight Sim Xbox, created by Asobo Microsoft Game Studios.
Okay, there's work to be done, and thanks to this version receiving future updates alongside the PC version, that's already well underway. And you might want to temper expectations before heading in. Perhaps most importantly, though, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator on console in all its glory and occasional clunkiness, and with that sense of splendor and wonder, unsullied by the small imperfections along the way. It remains one of the most breathtaking video game achievements in recent years, and on console, one of the most incredible next gen experiences to date. Um, Like most people I share this planet with, I lack the funds and lands to own and operate personal fleet of airplanes. Lucky for you, lucky for me, the latest incarnation of Microsoft Flight Simulator does a pretty good job replicating what that would be like. Probably the most ambitious bit of software I've played in a long time, and not even a game really, says Murph and the Magic Tones. It's somehow quite moving as you create your own experiences and take in the whole planet. Number 16, Death's Door. Um, Created by Acid Nerve. Oh man. Oh shit. Oh man. How warm and funny and sad. How textured and how fun. It is absolutely unmissable. TC perfectly sums up the brilliant atmosphere. Where did this come from? Um, Such a treat. Visuals, music, story, and gameplay combine perfectly. On my second play through on Switch, definitely essential. Going commando there, and that's still too much information. Cheers. Number 15, Ghost of Tsushima, director's cut. Um, Created by Sucker Punch, and I don't mean the fucking movie either. It's desperately frustrating because I maintain that Ghost of Tsushima is still largely quite fun. The problem is it's an easy breezy light beer kind of fun, the kind of Sucker Punch is known for. After all, and the blanket genericism of it just doesn't sit well against such a pole faced tone. I feel almost guilty picking this because so few people will be able to play it, says Marmaduke. Oh man. But it really is everything you could want from VR. It's immersive in a way that nothing else has been. It's terrifying. It's frantic. It's beautiful. It's even genuinely funny. No, nothing else this year has been able to compete with it, and I suspect it'll be a long time before anything does. This is from last year's 14 Half Life Alex, leaving it here as a reminder that last year we got a freaking Half Life game. Okay, Ghost, I've played my way through the original GOT on PS4 last year, and it became one of my favorite games of the generation. I was adamant I wasn't going to spend another $25 on a glorified PlayStation PS5 upgrade as I felt I was done with the game. But after a beer or two and on a whim, I flaked and got it. I'm so glad I did. The visuals and the dual sense haptics alone are totally worth the money. Um, Ike Island is a great expansion to the story. I'm now well on my way to the platinum and determined to get it. That's the Bugs verdict.
Okay. Number 14, Hitman 3. Developed and created by IO Interactive. All the same, there's something very hopeful about Hitman and an optimism that somehow coexists with its air of absurdity. Hitman 3 comes with the caveat that really this is when you include the maps from all three games, the mechanics that have merely been tweaked over the course of the trilogy. But man, what a wonderful thing that exists. A game so fun I can't ignore. It's often frustrating, always online requirement. Aside from the gameplay, the story has a sort of BBC Interpol drama aesthetic that you rarely if ever see in games, and I found that really refreshing. Miss you too much. Um Number 13, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, um, created by BioWare. We didn't review it, or at least I can't find it, but I'm sure Tom wrote something good about it. A chance to play through my favorite story of all time again without fighting through endless mods to make it look good. Sign me up. That's 6 toe. And here's Commander Teal. Of course, replaying these games reminded me of what Stone Cold classics they were in the first place. It Takes Two on number 12, developed by Hazelight. No, Hazelight. Yeah, Hazelight. If you can swat the story away to the background and consider it a slightly ill-chosen setup for an adventure, then there's a lot about It Takes Two to enjoy. This is a rare kind of co-op experience with an energy and imagination and playfulness that sometimes rivals Nintendo's. As a toy, it can be a joy, and it will create some co-op moments to remember. Reminding me of the most joyful gaming moments of my whole life. A generally charming, beautifully written, stunningly gorgeous co-op game that pretty much anyone can pick up and play. Says cheeky underscore caboose. The gameplay loop feels designed to perfection, with each new setting lasting just enough time to ring every last laugh from the player before moving on. Excuse me. Before boredom sets in. The levels themselves are generally gobsmacking in their intricacy and detail, and you are never doing the same puzzle twice. It's a surprisingly long game, lasting beyond the 10-15 hour mark. Um, Number 11, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, developed and created by Eidos Montreal. Um, Bugs aside, there's a lot here that Eidos can be proud of, but those things are hard to find amongst an oversaturation of gameplay systems and mechanics and uninspired combat. As much as I enjoyed the game's stunning set pieces and thoughtful storyline, not to mention the prerequisite post credits and scenes. Unlocking the full complement of your pals sparring, excuse me, skill set and getting to the end of Guardians of the Galaxy feels like an unmitigated slog when you are fighting an endless sea of tanky, bullet, spongy centurions.
and I still can't quite understand why a game that relies so heavily on cooperative play offers no co-op option at all. Um, man. All right, we're gonna get through this, man. Let me. All right, we're gonna get through this. Don't worry. Um. All right. So number 10, Hades, PlayStation, Xbox. Of course, developed by Supergiant Games. This game comes from hell, and it takes you back there, and it's brilliant. Get in. Can you say anything else about Hades these days? Um, a real highlight in uh roguelike genre with impeccable gameplay, an addictive loop, and a clever use of storytelling. Number 9, Disco Elysium, the final cut, developed by ZA and UM. So, so while full voice acting may seem like a token addition on paper, in practice it has a big effect. It's Disco Elysium, but now in 60 FPS on console. Um, and you can listen to the new voice of Kuno and how he still doesn't fucking care. So what else do you need? Says Soligar. Oh damn. Definitive, complete, unbelievable. Of course, a truly incredible achievement of RPGs, and I'm not going to review anything about that achievement here since I want those of you who haven't played this title to do exactly that. R- Number 8, Resident Evil Village. Oh shit, Capcom. Um, yes, created by Capcom. And for those no for these flaws, Resident Evil Village has a thrilling adventure that kept me hooked from beginning to end, despite its jarring twists and turns. But the delightful level isn't enough to mitigate a strange, unsatisfying plot hole written story, and that bizarre final act ultimately sullies what it is an otherwise terrifying good horror romp. A beautifully crafted, tightly edited roller coaster ride that stays true to Resident Evil whilst um, making the format feel relevant all over again. Once I picked up the joypad, I simply couldn't stop. The game is arguably too short, but it keeps you firmly within its grip for the entirety of its playtime. Stunning stuff, says Jubo. A new mainline Rusty is the very definition of event gaming, and I'm happy to say the continuation of the story of Ethan Winters did not disappoint. A rollicking gothic horric, no, excuse me, horror thrill ride from start to finish. Roll on the DLC. Um, Number 7, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, created by Insomniac Games. Um, it's just pure craft, pure fun, pure video games, all the brilliant, bizarre ideas this studio has just thrown at the wall, and all of them sticking. The only thing it lacks, apart from maybe a tiny bit of restraint, is pretense. There's no self seriousness, no pole faced melodrama, no insecurity about the form. A game that's happy to be a game in a familiar cuddly shape. Okay, so really great showcase of the PS5's capabilities and lots of fun. One thing I didn't expect to write this year, Ratchet and Clank might teach Tim Schafer a thing or two about how to pace and write a narrative-driven action platformer. Aside from Insomniac's peerless tech and crunchy, accessible action, it's the heart writing and memorable faces that elevate Ratchet and Clank beyond the double fines, often unfocused opus for my money. Number six, Deathloop, developed by Arcane. Apparently, for a game about time travel, Deathloop can be read as a game both for newcomers and old hands, an accessible introduction to Arcane's grittier, immersive sims, or a triumphant refinement of the dishonored style. Um, of course, even though it is told through first person, Deathloop felt as though it was doing something new. Yes, there are elements of many other games, but the unique world and storytelling helped it stand out and indeed above its contemporaries. Okay, I would have put Deathloop to death if I had gotten my hands on a PS5. Since I didn't want to hold that against the next Arcane game, I've chosen it as one of my favorite yet to play games of this year. Now that's being a fan, Dave. Yeah. Hold on a minute here. Let me six. Yeah. All right. Number five is Returnal, which is created by Housemark. Um, it is full of real, bona fide video game magic, but with each death, it becomes less special, more mundane, and this is why it feels so difficult to pick up the controller again. Why Returnal feels like it doesn't want to be played, but the magic it does have is transcendent. Yeah, transcendent. Um, and so I do still want to play it, whether Returnal likes it or not. There's few games that made me feel so unwelcome as Returnal, yet it plays so well that I couldn't keep stop coming back. I also enjoyed how Housemark transformed their trademark bullet hell gameplay into a more intimate and frightening experience. That's indie who belongs in a museum. Housemark are the masters of arcade game, and this is their masterpiece, said Kangoo. The controls are so perfect and precise, no game has ever played as well as this. Throw in the best sound design as well, and this is something special. This will probably never get the recognition it deserves, but for me, this isn't just Gotti, but easily top 10 of all time. Um, Number four, Psychonauts. Psychonauts. Oh shit. All right. So created by Double Fine. For me, watching Double Fine picks its way through this messy web of cliches and insight, and perfectly translating very complex phenomena into architecture, opponents, and abilities is part of the appeal. Everything that the what is it that the excellent original did, slightly not great. Psychonauts 2 fixes. This is an amazing sequel to an already fantastic game. Plus, you can pet a goat with your with your mind. Oh wow! I'm not petting no goat, man. You crazy? That's the verdict from ankles, who is now tied with Mr. Flay for my favorite username. What's that about goats now? A tall order to follow up a classic after such a long time, but one that didn't disappoint, says Vandal Handle, which is another strong name. Oh shit. You think? Number 3, Hayleau Infinite. Created by 343 Industries and many other studios. Um, and if nothing else, you can always rely on that golden triangle Master Chief and his gun. Grenade and gravity hammer, this time on your own terms. The best it's been in a decade. Hayleau is back, baby, says Superior Cole. Master Chief, the banished arena battles, open world Hayleau, banshees and warthogs and brutes. What more could you ask for? Oh yeah, FTP multiplayer grappling hooks. This game retains all the classic Halo gameplay we love and shakes it up just enough to keep it fresh. 343 outdid themselves. Traditionally, I'm not the biggest Halo fan, but this is the game that won me over. The combat is excellent, and the what is it? The AI is challenging. Open world done right. Ubisoft takes notes. I had held off from voting till I had played Halo. Only done about 10 hours. Damn! 10 hours, shit. But this is generally the most fun I've have had in Halo since CE. It's taken of my faith levels in the silent cartographers um and turned it into a game, and I'm all here for it. The high values targets are great additions and require different tactics to take down. That's from the Snowman. Do stay away from the Xbox vents when playing M8. Number 2, Metroid Dread, created by Mercury Steam. This is a modern Metroid, a 2D adventure delivered with a AAA panache. Yet one that retains the grace and poise that's always marked the highlights of this series, and marked it out from its many imitators. How blessed we are to have Samus properly back. Um, no, yes, Samus, yes. And what a marvel it is to be reminded how special Metroid can be. The wait, I'm delighted to say, was somehow worth it. I've never really gelled with 2D Metroid games before, says Sh- Shika. I know it's almost sacri- um wait sacrilege to say, but something about this game clicked with me. The game felt a joy to play. If I had to put my finger on it, I think the increased speed of progression, particularly by being able to counter to storm through levels, made this much more enjoyable to play through. E EMMIs were also a really great addition, I thought. Is there anything more satisfying than blasting the face one of those belligerent EMMIs? Distilled, taut, propulsive, says Mr. Zappa, a pure shot of particularly Nintendo magic. An intense game, very well crafted. The gameplay is precise, and the level of difficulty was perfect to me. The story was surprising, and the art direction really cool. Let's let special games sum it up. Somehow manages to be as exciting as an action movie, scary as a horror movie, and intricately designed as a Christopher Nolan movie. You had us up until the last bit there. And finally, number one, Forza Horizon, created by Playground Games. Well, let's see. It is familiar in the best sense of the world. Um, Comforting, personable, tailored to you, welcoming to all. It's a dependable joy. The latest and greatest iteration of the series that is never less than spectacular, fast paced fun. Forza 5 uses Mexico to great effect in creating a playground that is all too easy to lose many hours of living out your personal petrol head fantasies in joyous. That's something originals take. Playground games have really mastered their craft, declares Richie Root. Um, Mephisto 74 says the reason I decided to get back into the Xbox ecosystem and buy a Series S after I sold my 360 8 years ago. Um, Everything I read and saw about FH5 made me want to play it. The scale of the world, the graphical fidelity, the sheer sense of speed, love every minute of it so far. Zentar brings us home. We have waited longer than for previous games in the series, and it was worth it, even with online problems and some achievements attainable. This is the best game of the year due to its fun, attitude, accessibility, and great game world. No other game got that many hours of my time. Wonderful stuff, all done. Happy New Year, of course. You know the rest. Um, all right. Um, all right. Now we are gonna go over some music artists. Some music artists that I was trying to act. Let's do this now. Um, so our next segment is music Kool-Aid. Okay, let's make some noise for that one right there, man. In this episode 44 of this show right here, we have two music artists that we're about to get into as a review. And this is hold on a minute if I can find, let me just find their names first. Okay, okay, hold on a sec. All right, we're going to go over first and foremost, hold on a sec. Hey. All right. Okay, so let's go over Hayleau's discography, right? Now, for many of you who may not know who she is, of course, you may recognize Hayleau from your favorite TV show, Valerie in Riverdale, Lizzie Elliott in Altered Carbon. In real life, the Vancouver native is unfiltered, unpretentious, and infectiously uninhibited. Halo shows tremendous growth with every release. The young artist has also built up a striking resume in a very short amount of time. Raised in Canada, Halo pins the moment she knew she would be an artist. Um, she said, in quote, "My mom used to play a ton of Janet Jackson, Maya, Dr. Dre, Missy Elliott. They are they all possess a confidence and sexiness I couldn't put my finger on. I remember thinking I wanted to show that side of me as well. Her raspy vocals and unique R&B pop songwriting are unlike any other artist. And with her rapidly global fan base, Hayleau is ready to take her creative career to the next level with Touch, due out this fall 2021, of course. Well, that was last year. Ellie magazine has called Hayleau a Jill of all trades. She was also named one of Glamour magazine's 6 rising stars refusing cookie cutter beauty standards. Okay, we're gonna go over her discography. Here we go. And these are the singles that she has right here. This is hang on a sec. Oh, this is her EP. Her self-titled EP, Hayleau. Of course, you got Banana, You Are Mine, On Me, So Good, and Get Through. And of course, Sea Slide, Lonely, That's Life, and you have Make You Mine alongside with the Let Me Know. You have Get This Right and Dangerous. And of course, the latest release from last year is Go On. All right. Now her now I ain't going to go to the next artist. I'll get to their Instagrams in a sec. Next artist is Suzi. Let's take a look at her basically her bio right here. Suzi, formerly known as Z, is an American Dominican independent recording artist and singer-songwriter specializing in pop, hip-hop, and R&B styles. For her debut single in 2015, Suzi collaborated with renowned New Jersey rapper Fetty Wap titled Nobody's Better, that went viral in Asia, now totaling over 100 million streams worldwide. Billboard ranked the track number 4 on the 7 Fetty Wap collaborations you might not know. Suzi later released her second single, Special for You, with Canadian rapper Tory Lanez. Suzi has always had a love for music. Even as a toddler, she would break out in a passionate rendition of a myriad of songs she would memorize by ear. Despite this prodigy like gift, her innate ability to sing wasn't noticed until she was in kindergarten, where she attended the Memorial School of Paramus, New Jersey. Her music instructor took note of her extraordinary ability that led to a phone call to Susie's mother informing her of her daughter's prior unnoticed special gift. Um, Ever since she was enrolled in vocal training and then accrued over a decade of experience in classic, opera, pop, and mainstream vocal training. Of course, Susie is on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All right, let's go to her discography. All right, you got singles. Okay, Nobody's Better featuring Fetty Wap. You have Special for You, All My Shit, Special for You, Radio Edit, Honeymoon, Bet on Me, Green, Shots, Don't Bother Us, Bring It Back, um, a more toxico, um, No Me Lamas Mas, Secreto, um, and of course, the EP, um, Run It Up, Shots, Green, Special for You, and Bet on Me. So there you have it. Of course, like I said, make sure you follow Susie on. Hold on a second, man. Let me pull up the social media handle. Make sure you follow Susie on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Now her Instagram, I know mostly I am going to get into that right now. We'll get into it right now. Hold on a minute here. Um, yes. So, so of course, the of course it's Suzi itself. Um, let me just um, let me just get back to where I left off. All right, we're gonna get to Haylou's social media handle. Of course, you could follow her on. Let me see. Damn. Yeah, you can follow her on Instagram. Of course, let me just get to. Let me make sure that I don't miss anything. Let's get to okay, Hayleau. Okay, Hayleau. Um, okay, Hayleau. Here we go. So yeah, Hayleau Law is the Instagram handle right there. Hayleau Law. All right. Um, and of course, that was your music Kool-Aid. We are going to wrap this up. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna wrap this up right here. Of course, if you like what you heard in today's episode, um, please feel free to show some love by making a charitable donation to my Cash App, which is G Money Stacks 555. That's dollar sign capital G, lowercase MONEY 555. Once again, it's not about breaking the bank. It's all about doing what you can as far as what you are comfortable with. Whatever amount of money you plan to give and donate will be appreciated. So don't worry about having a lot of money to actually show appreciation. That's not what this is, man. Um. So anyway, you can follow the show Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on Instagram alongside with my other show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, along with my number one show that's over 100 episodes, which is 103. Um, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York Podcast, which it, which is on Facebook and Instagram, and alongside with myself, which is G Money Stacks 555, um, in Queens, New York. Make sure you turn on your notifications and make sure you comment on the Instagram live. All right. I know you guys just take a peek of me and what I'm doing in action and stuff, which is appreciated. But say hi. You know what I mean? Say hi. You know what I mean? Um, tell us what you think about the the review topics of what we discussed in today's episode or previous episodes whatsoever. I mean, don't worry. Um so there. Um you you want to make sure you tune in to Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast on Mondays and Tuesdays at 6 p.m. and Thursdays at 9 p.m. on YouTube. Um Also, you can follow me on 17 Live, which is G Money Stacks, Queens, New York. So there you have it right there. And now we are going to go to we're gonna go to a little segment that I actually started, which is stream choices on the go. All right. Stream choices on the go, man. Let's do a little something right here.
Yes. And this is the segment where we go over where you can actually listen to the episodes of the podcast. Um, I'm pretty sure you guys probably know by now, but let me fill you in on where you can actually listen. All right. So we're gonna get into where you can listen. Now, where you can listen. Uh Give me 1 second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Um, all right. So, all right, Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, where you can review show, where you can listen to the episodes, is on Anchor, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music. We are on Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes. We are on the recently added streaming platform, which is Moon FM Podcast. Um, we are also on Player FM. We're also on Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Reason FM, and Spotify. Don't forget to do a 5-star rating on Podchaser, Podfriend, and Spotify, which was most recently added to the show's pages. It's for the listeners who actually listen to the episodes and just tell us what you think and the rest. And we are on Stitcher, we on TuneIn Radio. Don't forget to listen to Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show on Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts. And last but not least, the YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube channel page. And of course, enable alerts with the notification bell to make sure you are reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes that was already recorded, including the ones that's already recorded that will be automatically posted on the YouTube channel page and uploaded. So there you have it. And download your favorite episodes, share the share the share the videos, share the episodes, tell a friend to another friend, leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and the topics. And of course, make sure you share the podcast along with the audio streaming platforms, plus the link that says Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. Now, if you are on the Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Instagram show page, you're gonna see a link that says Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. You click on there and you are going to see a whole list of audio streaming platforms, including the YouTube, um, wherever you listen to your podcasts and stuff like that. That's where you are able to catch previous episodes and new episodes that are going to be dropped. So there you have it right there. So listen, um, like I always say at the end of the show, um, make sure you reach out to your loved ones alongside with your husbands, your wives, your friends, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, um, whoever you interact with, and basically, trust. Um, yeah, those individuals might be found on the outside, but on the inside, they are not. So it's very important that we, push mental health because, you know, you know, our old school parents don't understand mental health and they think it's only for sick people. It's not about sick people, man. It's about what's going through a person's mind on the inside, not the outside, okay? Cuz that's really it, cuz it's really fucking ignorant to say that it's only for people that's sick, and then to and the most wildest advice that I ever heard is to take it to the bank. I'm not gonna say that shit to anybody that's going through something very traumatic or anything like that. I'm not gonna do that because number one, old school parents don't know what sons and daughters go through. They don't know. And they act like they know best, but they really don't. But it's all about what you can do as a human being. And I know certain people have a way of dealing with their mental health issues and stuff like that. Um and I personally feel as a human being who is also, sometimes going through ups and downs and stuff, just makes me feel a little more sometimes a little a little down and disappointed, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? And speaking of it is what it is, you guys are ready for some free game, right? On how to start a podcast? Well, I got you. If you have a dream of being a podcaster and you would like to create one, like myself, who has 3 shows under my belt, the first you're gonna need some important important keys of equipment of what you need to start your own podcast show. So here we go. First and foremost, you need headphones. You also need a microphone. You also need a laptop or a computer so you can do your live streams on YouTube. Um, and most of all, you do need a particular software um, in case you're doing your live streams. And I'm going to recommend StreamYard. And the reason I'm recommending StreamYard is because it has helped me in terms of the audio quality. So the audio quality is so excellent, and I'm getting the hang of this actually. And for those of you who may not know what StreamYard is a software where you can actually create banners along with talking points, segments, websites, social media handles, where you can actually follow podcast shows and stuff like that. Kind of like what I'm doing right here, where it says Meticulous Values Podcast Review Show, and you see the social media handles scrolling across your screen. So there you have it right there. Um, so yeah. Um, also, podcasting is not about pleasing the people as far as competition with other people. I mean, don't compare yourself to other people and all that other stuff. And of course, um, it's not about seeking validation from other people as far as like people in radio or anywhere else whatsoever. It's all about what you think in terms of what of the topics, with your thoughts and talks, opinions and facts, not the conspiracy theories, folks. You know what I mean? And for the most part, here's the beauty part about StreamYard. You can also send invite links to people that you want to join the live stream. When a person clicks on the link on the day that you are going to live stream, um, that way you will be added to the live stream. And when I see you come up in a little feed, I will add you to the live stream, and you can see me in action, and you can chime in on some topics. What are your thoughts and all that other stuff? All right. So there you have it right there, man. And also, if you have any ideas on on singers, rappers, TV shows, movies, games, and even podcast shows that you would like me to review, I would gladly do that. In the near future, there is a slight chance that I may end up adding a co-host to this show right here. Um, you know what I mean? Um, I haven't decided on who is it gonna be, so it's gonna be like a wait and see. Speaking of wait and see, um, I forgot to mention, you can create an account with StreamYard. All you need to do is, um, typing the email address, whether it's personal or the show's podcast pay. No, excuse me, the show's podcast email address. That way, when you type in the email address, it's gonna say get login code, and when you press get in login code, StreamYard will email you some numbers where you can actually type in the numbers, and then from there you are going to be all straight and good to go. So it makes it easier for you, so you don't have to worry about remembering passwords. You know what I mean? It makes it a lot simple and smooth. So, you know what I mean? It really sometimes it helps a lot though, man. You know what I mean? So also, you can download the Anchor app onto your iPhones and Androids, where it has creation tools on editing and adding music and sound effects and stuff. Um, or you can check out the website anchor.fm, so you could be able to have a head start on your podcast show journey. And hopefully, you guys can reach over 7 episodes like I did. Um, let's change the narrative of certain people who have a podcast that's not going to make it to 7 or 50 episodes or whatever. And I did that already. I did that already with my first podcast show already. I'm doing the same with this show right here, and of course the sports podcast show. It'll take some time, you know what I'm saying? Um, I'm still thinking about how I'm going to actually push the sports podcast, probably the 2 days a week. I'm not sure exactly, but it depends on how I feel and how much energy I have left from work. Um, I'm not sure yet, but I'll see. This is gonna be a wait and see, so I'm gonna think about it in March. So who knows? Anyway, man, I appreciate every single one of you who actually took the time to actually listen to me and actually got through episode 44, and that's pretty dope that we got through this. And for the most part, don't let don't let anybody stop you from um chasing your goals and dreams, because at the end of the day, you are the one that's making yourself happy by doing what you love. um and also, you don't got to worry about validation from production companies, of course other people, if they don't understand your vision and what if they don't understand your vision and your ideas on what the I mean, there's gonna be a few people that's gonna not know what the show is about, and I do explain what the show is about and stuff. So, of course, if you read the synopsis and stuff, of course, that's what it's there for. You know what I'm saying? Um. Anyway, make sure you wash your hands with soap. Of course, your hand sanitizer. Make sure you have your water alongside with your Gatorade for electrolytes for energy and strength. And make sure if you encounter any garbage hater burgers from the hater mobile, right? Um, what you want to do is picture them as food and and let um let actions speak louder than words. Opinions don't matter, actions do. And you're gonna eat them up like this. And there you have it right there, man. This has been a great show, and I'm here to actually inspire every single person out there who wants to create a podcast show, like myself. Even though I was able to do it, I mean, for me, I know a lot of people been asking me, how do I find the time to actually do all these things? Well, listen, I only work Fridays and Saturdays at Bed Lot Supermarket, right? I decided to get into the whole podcasting universe because for me it was all about creating an opportunity for myself. I wanted to do that because I felt like, you know, I needed something therapeutic, kind of like keeping a journal, video vlogs, whatever. Um, and I did, and I'm doing this because it makes me happy, not because of money, not because of not because of the amount of stuff that's going on. It's all on me. I did all this to have something light for you guys, to get your minds off of stressful situations, like from the news, that the news and conspiracy theorists who create fear in terms of trying to manipulate people into thinking of the information that they come up with. It's not real. It's not real facts, man. It's alternative facts. I'm gonna actually do a breakdown on the difference between alternative facts and real facts on my number one show, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast. And of course, like I said, make sure you subscribe, rate, and everything else in between. So that's gonna do it for me, man. I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you very much for listening and tuning in and rocking with me each and every week. And I will see you in the next episode. Same time, same man cave, bat cave channel. And like I said, man, do what makes you smile. Not about the haters. And you are more than just your skin complexion. Don't forget that. You are a human being first. Remember that. Peace and one love, and have yourselves a good night.